Hey, everybody, this is Don again, and this is Practical Reality. Today is Thursday, January 1st, 2026, New Year's Day. I hope everybody enjoyed their New Year's Eve festivities at whatever level you wanted to take it to. My wife and I didn't do very much. We actually fell asleep before the ball dropped at like a quarter to 12, and then we woke up like 20 minutes later with the TV on. So we sort of like wound it back to see the ball drop and watch or listen to Frank Sinatra sing his song, and then we went right to sleep. That's mainly because my wife has to work today. She works at the mall starting at 10 a.m. So I had to get her there, and then I went to the gym, got a good workout in, very good workout, my first workout of the new year. We actually had a little snow overnight, and it's very cold and windy outside. So I decided to sort of like to stay home and make this short little message for you all to think about. And that's basically what I want you to do. Think about what I'm saying today, because the message of this video and the theme of this video, I would guess you would say, is to cut through the noise. One of the things that I did this morning while I was making breakfast was listen to one of my favorite Joe Dispenza videos. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And he starts out that video by asking two very basic questions. The first question is, do you believe that the thoughts you have an effect on your life? Now, I don't think anybody can deny that the answer to that question is yes. How you think the thoughts you have is going to affect your life in some way. And the second question is, how many of you woke up then and decided to consciously create a future? And it's funny, he's doing this in front of a live audience. So when he asks that question, barely anybody says a word, and people start sort of like chuckling to themselves. Because the fact of the matter is that hardly anybody in the audience has actually done that. And then he says, do you know the reason why you haven't done it? And the answer also, again, is pretty obvious. You haven't done it because you don't really believe that it's true, that you don't really think you can actually create your future through your thoughts. But if you really answered yes and you believe the answer to the first question is yes, that your thoughts affect your life, then why don't you take the extra step and consciously create your future with your thoughts? And I think that's a very profound question. And the main reason that he gives, the main excuse that people give when they say they didn't do it, is because they don't make the time. And I think that is the biggest mistake that people can make, is not taking the time to consciously create their future. He then discusses what people normally do, which is what I did, except for listening to the video today, is to get up, make your breakfast, take a shower, get to work, although obviously today is being New Year's Day. I don't have work today. But this is the normal routine. And people are a slave to their routine. And I think that is what we have to examine. And part of that routine, which is something I do every day, I'm on LinkedIn almost every day, and I see posts, and on Facebook as well. And I see posts that I want to make comments on and this kind of thing. And I do that, and I hope to put some good ideas out there and stimulate some good conversations. That's mainly why I do it, to maintain sort of a presence and to let people know that I'm a thinking individual, okay? But do I take the time to understand exactly what I'm doing? Okay? Do I take the time to understand that I'm taking that time instead of to comment on those posts, instead of taking the time to break my routine of looking at those posts and making comments every day, and instead focusing on my thoughts to create my future? The answer is no. And when you talk to people, very often when you talk to people about whether or not they feel that they are well informed, the only way that they feel that they are well informed is by staying in touch with the sources of media, whatever sources of media they utilize to stay informed on a daily basis of daily events. However, the central question that you have to ask yourself, if you are making an effort to stay informed and it makes you feel good, it makes you feel like an adult to stay informed, the central question you have to ask yourself is, what good is that doing you? Can you control those events? And I think just as obvious as the question of whether your thoughts affect your life, the answer to the question of whether you can control those events is obviously no. You cannot. And so the question then becomes, what can you control? And just as I have said in every video I've ever made, the only thing you can control are your thoughts and your internal environment. So then the key lies in breaking the routine. Now, whether or not you completely cut out all sources of media or anything else in your life is really immaterial. The question is, how much time are you going to devote to controlling your thoughts and then creating your future? And that should be a New Year's resolution. In fact, that is my New Year's resolution. I'm going to make sure that I take the time to control my thoughts and then exercise the control over my own internal environment. Yes, I see things on social media every day that disgust me and make me want to scream and make me want to say that's ridiculous. All kinds of reactions. But those reactions are not helping you. And those reactions are habits. Habits that you have as a result of all the programming that you've been throughout your life that says you should be indignant at the things that you are seeing. And the favorite thing that people do on these posts on social media is to express their indignance and say how wrong this is and what can be done. Okay? And yes, possibly your speaking out can make a difference and help it, but the fact of the matter is that you cannot control what is going on outside of you on a daily basis. So what responsibility do you owe to yourself? The greatest responsibility you owe to yourself is to control your own thoughts, to create your own future, and control your own internal environment. And that is the key resolution that I hope you will make for yourself, and understand that you can still be indignant. You can still look at those posts. You can still make those comments. You can still post things that you feel are important to you, which is exactly what I do as well. But recognize and make time for the fact that you need to control your own internal environment to create the future that you want. And it's hard to hear, but it is sort of a waste of time for you to be on social media all day posting or commenting if you are not making the effort to control your thoughts to create the internal environment that you want to secure the future that you want. Now, even someone out there who may feel that they have achieved everything they've ever wanted, every dream they've ever had, this kind of thing, there are still things that you then can do that go beyond what you have dreamed. Many times I've heard Joe Dispenza say, okay, you've manifested what you want. Now try for something else. And if you are a thinking, conscious person with a well-developed soul, you can think of some greater purpose for your life that will serve you in a way that will make you feel fulfilled and make you feel like you have that control of your internal environment. So you can use those thoughts, these new thoughts, to create a greater future for yourself and a greater legacy. So that's basically the entire message that I wanted to say. It's even actually a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. But I think it's extremely important to recognize the possibility that you can do better for yourself by controlling yourself, breaking the habit of your routine. Many times I've said I'm a slave to my routine. My New Year's resolution this year is to become unhooked from that routine and to become more conscious of the thoughts that I have to create a greater future for myself and control the internal environment, maintaining a higher state of vibration, happiness, and a greater outlook, and radiating that love and that positivity out to others that I interact with. Thank you very much for listening. I hope everybody has a fantastic day and a fantastic year and gets something positive out of what I have just said.